Your iPhone can do some amazing things that I reckon most owners have no idea about. So if you'd like to learn how to do things like have your iPhone vibrate a certain way when someone calls, or be able to swipe next on Instagram using just your voice, keep watching to the end of the video. I've got lots to show you. Okay, let's get into it. If you're anything like me and you sometimes struggle to fall asleep, especially in a silent room, you might benefit from knowing that your iPhone has sleep sounds built into it. And I'm not talking about the white noise sounds that you can access in settings. I'm talking actual sleep music that you can listen to help you drift off. The way that you would access this is you would go into Control Center, then long press to enter edit mode and choose Add a Control down at the bottom. Scroll down just a bit until you get to the ambient music section. And in here, you'll see 4 options. One of them will be sleep. Tap on that and a sleep playlist will be added to your Control Center. While still in edit mode, tap on the sleep button and tap into where it says playlist, and you can choose from a number of different playlist options. I've noticed that the sounds on offer seem to change for different people, so I'm not going to read them out, but you'll actually see a mixture of things like beats, classical music, piano music, that kind of thing. Choose the one that sounds best to you, then come out of Control Center edit mode. And the next time you're trying to fall asleep, you can simply swipe into Control Center and tap on that button. The music will begin playing in its own dedicated music player, so you can change the volume, skip tracks if you want to, and this will just keep playing for as long as you allow it to play. I often let this play for an entire night while I'm sleeping. And the example that I just showed you there was sleep sounds, but if you noticed, when we went into Control Center, there were other options as well. Options for productivity, relaxation, focus, definitely worth exploring if you haven't already. Oh, very quickly, if you watch videos like this and think, well, that's great, but I'll definitely forget it later, I've made something to fix that. I send one short, free iPhone tip every day direct to your inbox. It's called the Daily Swipe. It takes 30 seconds to read, and it genuinely helps you remember and actually use tips like the ones in this video. Just scan the QR code on screen or tap the link in the description to join for free. The Mail app has a reminder function built into it. If you don't know already, you can swipe from left to right on an email in your inbox and choose Remind Me, and then set a time when you would like to be reminded about this email. But it isn't as good as the functionality of the Reminders app because it relies on you having the Mail app open in order to see the reminder. It would be so much better to be reminded about emails using the Reminders app, but getting emails from the Mail app into Reminders is, for some reason, so much more difficult on the iPhone than it is on any other app. There are 2 ways that you can do it, one which I think a lot of people know about, and one which I reckon most people don't know about. So in order to do this, we've got the Mail app open, and we need to have the Reminders app open in the list that we would like to use. I'll go back to the Mail app, long press on an email, and then drag it around on the screen, just like you would drag an app on the home screen. With my finger still pressed down, I'm going to swipe up to come out of Mail, then tap to go into the Reminders app, and simply drop the item anywhere in the list. This will create a reminder that links back to this email. It is, however, a little bit hit and miss. It doesn't always work as well as it should. So there is another method that you can use instead, which is a lot more reliable. If I tap on the email that I want to create the reminder about, I can then long press on text anywhere in the email. I tend to use the subject line. You can use whatever you like. Select the text like you would select any text. Then in the menu that appears, press the right arrow button and then press Share in the menu that appears. In the share sheet, choose Reminders and then select the list that you would like to add this reminder to. You can then simply press the blue tick in the upper right corner. And if I go back to Reminders, you'll see my reminder created, complete with a link back to the email. There is a feature in the Messages app that allows you to personalize your messages, and it's a feature that's been there for years. I just think most people don't realize it exists. So when you're typing a message in the Messages app, you can actually send a handwritten note. The way that you would do it is really simple. Turn your phone onto its side. When you do that, you'll notice in the keyboard there's a new button that wasn't there before. It's this little squiggle icon down in the bottom right corner. Tap on that, then use your finger to write your handwritten message. You can undo if you want to, or if you're happy with it, you'd press Done. It doesn't immediately send the message, it inserts it into the message for you. You'd then press Send to send it. And the nice thing about it is that the person who receives it doesn't just get the handwritten message, they actually get to see the message being written the way that you wrote it. I'm all about sharing iPhone tips that help your tech run more smoothly, but one area that I've never really managed to get on top of is my WordPress hosting. It's always felt a bit confusing, and it's why I wish I'd known about Kinsta earlier. Big thanks to Kinsta for sponsoring today's video. Kinsta offers managed hosting for WordPress, and the whole idea is that your website should just work without you constantly looking after it. Nobody wants a site that feels slow, crashes when things get busy, or customer support that doesn't actually help. And these are exactly the kind of problems Kinsta takes care of. Your site could run up to twice as fast just by switching to Kinsta. Faster load times keep people on your site for longer, which can help with your search rankings too. You also get proper security with things like firewalls, DDoS protection, and an SLA-backed uptime guarantee of up to 99.99%, so you can relax knowing your site is safe. And when you do need help, you speak to real WordPress experts at any time of day. No bots, no scripted replies, actual humans who sort things out quickly. Their dashboard is also one of the cleanest I've used, which makes everything really straightforward, even if you're not technical. Right now, they've got a Black Friday deal running, and it's genuinely one of the best I've seen for hosting. New customers can get 6 months free on annual standard plans, or 50% off the first 6 months on monthly plans. Every plan has a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they even handle the full migration for you, so you don't need to worry about moving anything yourself. If you want to check it out, use the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen, but don't wait too long because it only runs until the 2nd of December. Let's say that you're about to travel to a location. You open the Maps app, you type in the name of the location because you're going to use that to get your directions. But did you know about this extra piece of functionality? Up in the top left corner of the Maps app, there's a little weather box. It gives you some really basic information at a glance. The current conditions there, the temperature, the air quality index. But if you long press on that box, you get a much more detailed card appear in the center of the screen, giving you a lot more information about the weather in that particular location. And if you want to go into even more detail about the weather there, you can tap on that card and you'll be taken straight to the weather app with a full forecast for that particular location. Live photos are definitely a bit of an acquired taste, and I find that most people I speak to don't really like them. But there is a really good feature with live photos, which is the ability to turn a live photo into a long exposure photo. If you don't know what I mean by a long exposure photo, those are the pictures of traffic at night where all of the headlights blur into one stream of lights, or waves crashing on a beach where the water takes on this kind of glossy, silky effect. They're really cool. They're quite difficult to capture using a professional camera, but they're extremely easy to capture using your iPhone. So the way that you would do this is you would open the camera app and select photo, then tap the menu button and make sure that live is enabled. You're going to do that by tapping the live button until the live icon is showing in yellow. Then position your phone and hold as still as you possibly can and capture your photo. You'll need to hold the camera still for a couple of seconds because that's the way that live photos are captured. Your phone's camera is essentially capturing a short video. Once you've captured the live photo, go into the Photos app and find the photo. In the top left corner of the screen, you'll see a button that says Live. Tap on this, and from the options that are available, choose Long Exposure. Your phone will use the video to create a really impressive long exposure image. The apps on your home screen are a very personal customization choice. You've probably got yours set up exactly the way that you like them so that you know where every single app is. But if you've ever wished that you could have a setup where the app that you want at any moment in time is always available for you on your home screen, you can kind of get that on your iPhone thanks to some clever artificial intelligence. It's known as Siri Suggestions, and it's basically where your iPhone learns from your habits and then makes sure that apps that you want are always available on a grid on your home screen. To add this, long press on your home screen, tap Edit in the top left corner, and then tap Add Widget. Scroll down to the list of apps until you get to Siri Suggestions, and then tap on this. Choose the first option, which is a 2x4 grid of apps, then press Add Widget. The widget will be added into your home screen, and you can now press Done in the upper right corner. And the way that this works is your iPhone will make intelligent suggestions based on what it knows about the way that you use your phone at specific times of the day or even in specific locations. So if it knows that you always look for a particular parking payment app when you get to a particular car park, it will make sure that it shows in this grid when you arrive there. If it knows that you always use a VPN at a certain time of day, or it knows that you tend to go into your music app at a certain time of day, it will make sure that those apps are available to you at that time of day. It's really clever, and over time, it's actually extremely accurate. Another nice feature here is that you can add multiples of these to the home screen if you want. So for example, you might decide that you'd prefer to have 3 Siri suggestions widgets on your home screen taking up the entirety of your display, and it won't duplicate the apps. Or it's a really good way to combine apps with widgets, because you could have a large widget at the top of your screen, maybe another large widget in the middle, and then that bottom row of apps you're most likely to want to use. Give it a try, it's actually a really useful tool. Oh, quick one, while you're here, if you're enjoying these tips, this is exactly the sort of thing that I cover inside iPhone Essentials Plus. It's more than 200 lessons, each one with a video, screenshots, and a printable guide, so you can dip in whenever you need to. Think of it as the instruction manual that your iPhone should have come with. If you want to take a look, there's a link just below this video, or you can scan the QR code on screen. If you're listening to a podcast and you realize that you'd like to share this episode of a podcast with somebody else, I'm sure you already know that you can tap the ellipsis button, then press share, and then choose the person that you'd like to share it with. The problem with this, though, is that by default, you're going to share the episode from the start. So if you want that person to listen to the whole episode, that's fine. But if you want them to listen to a specific point, you then have to tap on where it says from start. And then you can either select the point that the podcast was at when you pressed share, but that might not be particularly accurate. There is a better way of doing this. If you tap on the little speech icon down in the bottom left corner, that will bring up the transcript for this podcast. You can then scroll through and find the exact part that you want the other person to hear. Long press on that particular section, and you'll see that in the menu that appears, there is a Share From button, and that's going to allow you to share from this exact part of the podcast. Simply tap that button, follow the steps, and you can share your podcast. If your iPhone supports Apple Intelligence, which is an ever-growing number of iPhones these days, there's a really handy censorship feature built into the Photos app that you might not know about. So let's say that I want to share this photo of a person, but I want to blur their face out. This is really easy to do with Apple Intelligence. Just tap the little edit button down at the bottom of the screen, then tap cleanup. Wait for cleanup to be ready, and when it is, you can use pinch to zoom in on the face of the person. And then you would simply take your finger and draw a circle around the person's face. Your iPhone will recognize that you're trying to blur someone's face out and apply identity protection right away. You can then just press done, share the photo, and know that the person's identity is secure. This works on text as well, so if you need to blur out a license plate or some letters in a photo or something like that, you can use it there in exactly the same way. In these days when most of us tend to keep our phones on silent most of the time, there is a tip for customizing the vibrations that you feel when somebody calls or texts you, and I think most people don't know that this feature exists. So the way that you would do it is open the Contacts app and find the contact that you'd like to use this setting for. Then tap Edit in the top right corner and scroll down until you get to the section that says Ringtone and Text Tone. Choose whichever method you tend to hear from this person the most. So if you tend to get text messages from them, you'd go into Text Tone. If they tend to call you more often, you would go into Ringtone. Either way, it doesn't matter. You're going to be taken to the same page. You'll see an option at the top that says Haptics. Tap into that, then scroll down until you get to the Custom section and tap on Create New Vibration. Now you can use this gray area that takes up the majority of the screen to tap a custom vibration pattern. You can use long presses, individual taps, you can even do swipes around essentially to create whatever you like. When you're done, you can press the play button in the bottom left corner to feel the vibration back, and if you're not happy with it, you can press record to go again. But if you are happy with it, you can then press save. You could give the vibration a name, probably makes sense to give it the name of the contact that you're assigning this to, and then press save. And you'll see that this particular vibration has now been added to your custom vibrations. Now, every time this person sends you a text or calls you, depending on which one you chose, the custom vibration will play out. If you've ever wished you could swipe next on Instagram stories using just your voice, you can. Let me show you how to do it. Go to Settings, scroll down and tap Accessibility. Then scroll to the Physical and Motor section and tap into Voice Control. Toggle the feature on, then tap Commands. Then tap Custom and choose Create New Command. In the Phrase section, type in the phrase that you want to use. In this example, I'm going to use the word next. Now tap Action and select Run Custom Gesture. Here, you're going to recreate the motion of swiping from right to left, just like you would when skipping an Instagram story or a TikTok video. Once you've recorded the swipe, press Save in the upper right-hand corner to save the command. Next, tap the back button to return to the new command page and select Application. Scroll down and choose the app where you want this command to work. I'm going to choose Instagram from the available options. Once that's set, press Back and then tap Save in the upper right corner to finalize everything. Now, if I open Instagram, all I have to do is say Next, and my phone will automatically swipe to the next story. If you ever want to turn this off, just disable voice control and it will stop working. So there you go, that was 10 things that your iPhone can do right now that I reckon most people don't know about. What about you? Was there anything in here you're learning for the first time? Or are there any amazing things that your iPhone can do that you think I should have included instead? Drop me a comment and let me know. And don't forget, if you'd like a free iPhone tip in your inbox every day, sign up to the Daily Swipe. The link is in the description of the video, or you can scan the QR code on screen now. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video. And finally, thanks again to Kinsta for sponsoring today's video. If you want to see what they can do for your WordPress site, click the link in the description.